Super Bowl. He's got to find out how exactly the Bucs shut him down. Mike Vick back with us now. Mike, that Bucs defense came up with a way to stop the Chiefs. Do you expect teams to just copy that same game plan going into next season?
Absolutely not. And this is good news for Patrick Mahomes, this segment right here. Because you can't duplicate the personnel or the scheme that Todd Bowles put together. And Brandon raved about Todd Bowles all year for all the right reasons. And like I said, I had spent some time with Todd Bowles, and I understand that scheme. It's just not going to happen because, for one, he's one of the greater defensive minds in the game of football, and you only have 5 months to put a scheme like that together. So teams won't be able to put a scheme together that could stop Patrick Mahomes the way that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. And Patrick has to realize, and the more he think this through, he'll see that not having those 3 offensive linemen on the field really affected the game plan. He was on the move and backing up more than we ever seen him back up or, scramble in a long time. So it was just uncharted waters for their offense, uncharted waters for Patrick, and he has nothing to worry about. This is a copycat league, but you can't copy that scheme or that personnel. It takes time to put that together.
So Mike Vick is obviously clearly correct here, Kevin Wildes, but that is not going to prevent, and I say this with no due respect, doofuses such as yourself for the next 8 months explaining to me how the Chiefs have been, how they've been found out. Listen, here's the recipe to stopping Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to lay it out for you. You have a former head coach turned great defensive coordinator scheming. You have 2 of the fastest inside linebackers in football. You have a spectacular defensive line. Add to that the Chiefs being down 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, and as a nice little bonus, Patrick Mahomes having a foot injury that immediately needs surgery. If all of those things happen, then the Chiefs, it would appear, can be beaten. Luckily for the Chiefs, none of those things will be happening next year. So there is no blueprint. This is not a game plan. This is not a, well, wait, how do we do it? Okay, no, it's not duplicable. But so, yeah, I agree with Mike. And Brandon shaking his head. You're laughing at me. But you can't duplicate the offensive line, Mahomes injury, Bucs personnel, and Todd Bowles. You just can't.
Okay. I know you're emotional about this still. For the record, I have yet to say anything in this segment.
He was right.
I haven't said anything. And but I am going to give you, Nick, an olive branch because I saw something yesterday that made me think that the Chiefs can get back to the Super Bowl. And I asked you in the break, I said, Nick, have you seen the highlights of the sound up, and for you they would be lowlights, of the Super Bowl? You're like, no, I'm never going to watch it again. I said, okay. At the end of the game, while you are being blown out, destroyed, your dreams just crushed, the idea that you could go back to back and go back to the Patriots just crumpled up and thrown into the garbage. There was a saving grace. Tyrann Mathieu is walking around the sideline with such confidence and I would say grace. He's saying, finish like a champion. Finish like a champion. We've been here before. Finish like a champion. He's giving guys high fives. It's almost like it felt like a pump-up speech for next year. And look, everybody can be a great leader when you're winning the game, right? It's like Jordan in The Last Dance with the baseball bat. It's like easy to talk when you're winning. But he's getting blown out, and there's such leadership and confidence that it made me think, oh, man, I actually felt bad. I was like, Nick has got a point here. The Chiefs can go back-to-back with leadership like Tyrann Mathieu. So I know you're going to think it's a low light, but I suggest that you check it out. It really made me feel good about the Chiefs.
Okay, well, I'll never watch the game again. I have no need to, but I am glad to hear that. I'm very curious to hear what Brandon Marshall has to say about if teams can duplicate what the Bucs did.
I mean, Mike hit it on the head. There's really nothing I can add to. Well, I can maybe go a little deeper. So Mike talked about the personnel, and he talked about the scheme, right? So let's talk about Todd Bowles. And I said this earlier this week talking to Phil Simms, Ray Lewis, and playmaker Mike Irvin. The greatest run in playoff history, this guy, Todd Bowles, beat Drew Brees Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can't duplicate that. It's just impossible, right? And then from a player's perspective, we've seen teams, the blueprint was set. So when we talk about scheme, the blueprint was set actually by Bill Belichick going back to 2019. Okay, so they set the blueprint. What did he do? He rushed forward and he played soft zone. Who actually built off of that? The Las Vegas Raiders. That's how they beat them this year. Who tried to do it again? The Buffalo Bills, but they didn't have the personnel. What do we mean? What do we mean by the personnel? Devontae David, right? Look at him. That you got to understand. You got to have guys with high football IQ when you play zone. It can't just be this is cover 3. I'm dropping to the numbers and I got curl to flat. You got to understand when the number 2 goes to the flat. Now number 1 becomes your guy. You can't just sit on the numbers. You got to actually go and absorb that guy. So the Buffalo Bills had the perfect defense, but they didn't have the personnel. So you have Patrick Mahomes just out there picking apart these guys. So it's going to be hard for teams to do that. Now, what was surprising is Todd Bowles and his defense, they actually stopped Patrick Mahomes. That's damn near impossible. But there are teams, Nick, and this is where you guys got to be nervous. There's teams out there that can slow you guys down. We know Patrick Mahomes can go out there and score 40 points a game. But if you can hold them to 20, now you're giving your offense a chance. Now you're going to be in a game in the fourth quarter. So what you'll see, the guys like the Miami Dolphins, you got guys like the Las Vegas Raiders, you got other teams out there that can go out there and slow them down and giving their offense an opportunity to win it in the fourth. So they shouldn't be scared, but they definitely should be, thinking twice about how they look at these teams.
Just watch the game again, Nick, one time. Plenty of big-name receivers on the market going into next season. Brandon will tell you which place fits which face next. First things first.
Uh-oh.